Well, welcome. I'm Electra Porzel with the Language of Consciousness Institute, and I'm just here to ask you, why would you want to become a modern indigen? Doesn't sound like a title you want after your name, does it? Except for a couple of things. One is indigen is just a short term for indigenous, and I'm not an indigenous person, you're probably not. But what we know on this planet is that the indigenous peoples somehow escaped the reality of separation that take the rest of us over, that dominates our Western culture, that makes us separate from each other, separate from the land, and separate from nature. And that's a problem. That's a real problem for us now, for our children, our grandchildren, and generations that are coming. So, how do we solve this? We know that our indigenous ancestors had practices and viewpoints that kept them in balance in nature and in the land. They listened to it and knew it in a way that we don't. Well, most of us don't. So that comes the title of, well, how can we retrieve or apply some of the concepts that they have, modern indigenous groups, in order to shift the way that we live and in this culture, so that the reality of separation is no longer dominant. There will not be a viable future for coming generations. If we want that, we have to change. If we want that for them, we have to change. And that means that we're going to have to look at different ways of being with each other, different ways of responding and being with the land, different ways of being with nature. And that's just the fact of it. So my suggestion to you is look at being a modern indigen. Now there's one book out that has taken a stab at this, and that's Sand Talk by Tyson Yunkaporta. And he spent years studying his indigenous ancestors, the Aborigines of Australia, to see what it was that they had and that he personally had lost and that he wanted back in order to be better connected with all life. And so he wrote this book to give us a hint, to say, here's some ideas. Here's what I went through to reconnect. This is what I discovered. Take a look at it, because something in there may help us. It may guide our children and our grandchildren and generations coming. But we have to do the work now to make this transition, to start seeing the world different, seeing different perspectives, responding to the earth, responding to nature differently, responding to each other differently. And that's going to include spirit and emotions and mental and physical. It's all of those. But you and I got to do the work now. So my part is a very small part, which means I'm going to lead a discussion on it. And we're going to start on Wednesday, March 15th. We're going to start discussing the book, Sand Talk, chapter by chapter, every other week. So you have time to do everything else in your life and see if there's anything we want to try on. If you do the creation exercises from the language of creation, you'll probably want to write those to integrate some of these ideas and concepts into how you live and how you see the world. So I invite you to join us. It's only 3 days away, and be with us, to be with yourself, to create a world of unity for your children, your grandchildren, and the generations to come. It's time to get busy creating a new world. Thank you. Go to the Language of Consciousness Institute, www.loc-institute.com. Go to our events pages and register there. The link is also in the YouTube information. Thank you. Bye-bye.